In terms of what tonight is going to be about is basically just setting the stage for the course. I've got a fair amount of things to go over. I do not anticipate going all the way till 9 o'clock. We should be out of here well before that. In fact, I'm hoping that we would be out of here, or no, is it 9:40? I think we're officially scheduled for something like that. Something ridiculous on a Tuesday night. But my hope is to have us out of here 8:45 or so at the latest. We'll see how things go. This is a large class. I had 19 students as of yesterday. It looks like we're down to 18, but that is rather large for this class. So hopefully we'll get a chance to get to know everybody a little bit and get to know a little bit about what's going on in the course. So I guess let me kick things off since most of you I do not know and you don't know me, just to introduce a little bit briefly about who I am. Um, I actually graduated from with my master's in educational technology from Central. That's been, forget how long now, 10, 12 years or so that I've been out of the program. And in the intervening time, I've been uh, in and away and then back again as a adjunct professor in the program. So I have been in each of your shoes, albeit a decade or so ago, but I've been there. But I'm really happy and really enjoy being able to be back as part of the program on the other side of the desk, as it were. Um, I am also primarily, in addition to technology, my main field of study is music. I've been a performing musician since I was 4 years old. I went to college for my undergraduate for music performance and music education. I just finished up a postmaster's program in music education as well. And my day job, when I'm not teaching at Central, is I am a high school music teacher in Regional School District number 10, which, if you don't know where that is, that's perfectly okay, but it encompasses the towns of Burlington and Harwinton in Connecticut. Basically, if you get on Route 4 in Farmington and just stay on Route 4, you'll drive right through the middle of our town. And I've been at the Lewis Mills High School. This is my 24th year there. Again, not only having been through the master's program in ed tech, but since, many of you, most of you are also active school teachers, I am also there with you as well, and sharing in those experiences. Um, so that's just sort of a little bit about who I am and what I've done. I also had a career in technical theater, which I do still maintain somewhat sort of extracurricularly. So the world of technology in many different from many different directions in many different ways has been a pretty important piece of what I do. The main role that I play in my high school in the music program is I actually direct a rock ensemble, or what we call modern band program there. So I'm a little outside the traditional band, chorus, orchestra triad, but I get to work with rock bands and beginning rock band students and music technology and things like that. So that's just briefly a little bit about what I'm doing here. Um, and I would like to then follow up by getting a chance to hear a little bit from each of you. I know I had asked, and most of you had completed it, and I thank you for that, of doing a little post on that introduce yourself on our Blackboard page. That's really useful. I actually use that a lot since we only see each other maybe once a week. That those introductions are really useful for me, and I find myself going back to those also just to keep fresh in my mind who is what and where people are working and what they're doing and so on. But I thought we could take a little bit of time tonight. And again, I know there's a lot of us, so I don't want to take the whole evening with this, but just to kind of run around the room and give everyone a chance to say quickly who you are. If you are currently a teacher somewhere, maybe just what you teach and where you teach. If you're not currently a teacher, that's fine. You can also fill us in on what you do do. Um, and maybe it would be helpful for me, maybe just where you are in the program, if this is your beginning point of the program, or if you're further along in the program, or you're in a different program. That's useful for me to know. And maybe if there's a fun fact you like to share about yourself or something along those lines, feel free to throw that in. But we'll keep this brief. We'll just kind of go around. So I guess I will just go. Well, that list changes all the time. Um, I don't know. Somebody just jump in. That may be inviting chaos, but if somebody wants to just go ahead and introduce yourself, and we'll just try to kind of get through everybody here. Don't be shy.
Hi, everyone. I'm Eric. Um, this is my 5th year teaching social studies, my 3rd year at my school at Connecticut River Academy. A little further along in the program, I have, including this one, 3 classes left, and then I'm done.
Awesome. Yes, and obviously we have met before in class, so it's good to have you back, Eric. All right.
I'll piggyback off of Eric.
All right. Thank you, Rachel.
This is going to be my 3rd year teaching U.S. history in the same district I grew up in, which is Rocky Hill. I actually student taught at Connecticut River Academy, so small world. I don't know if you would know who it was, but I student taught underneath Kelly Lang. I'm not sure if she's there anymore.
She's not there anymore, but Neil Benson is.
Oh, okay. Yes, I remember him still.
He's our department head.
He's what?
He's our department head now.
Oh, okay. Kelly used to be the department head when I was the student teacher. Sorry to get off track. But yes, I'm in my 3rd year teaching in Rocky Hill. I'm a middle school teacher. I teach 8th grade U.S. history, and this is I started in spring 2022, so I'm just moving and chugging along into my 1st year still.
Awesome. It's good to have you back, Rachel. All right, let's keep the ball rolling here. Who's up next?
I can go.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Carrie. I work at Kinsella Magnet School for Performing Arts in Hartford. My 3rd year there, but my 8th year teaching. I teach algebra and geometry, so I'm a math teacher. Super small school, but it's a really cool community. I am exactly halfway through the program. I have done 5 courses, so I have 5 left, including this one. I'm excited. And I spent my summer nights playing beach volleyball at Mount Suttington. So that was a lot of fun. And if anyone knows anyone who needs an English position or a math position, my school is looking for teachers.
All right. Little advertisement there. Can never hurt. Get the word out. All right. Well, good to have you back. All right. Who's up next? Don't make me start calling names.
I guess I can go. My name's Mike. My background's in video production, but I'm actually starting my 5th year as a special education paraeducator at the high school that I graduated from. And I didn't think I'd be doing this long, but I've been with the same boy for, all the way through pandemic and all that, and he's graduating this year. So this will probably be my last year, but I wanted to carry him through. And I'm just super excited about this. As I've read the descriptions of the course, I see a lot of similarities between crafting video production and craft instructional design. So I'm super excited about learning more about how we're going to do all this.
Awesome. Well, it's great to have you, Mike. I've done a fair amount of video work in my past, and in theater, I was mainly lighting and sound supervisor, and I do lighting and sound design as well. And of course, these days, lighting design involves a lot of projection work too. So I've been getting into doing a lot of that and having to build content for projectors. So, but great to have you. All right, here we go. Next.
I can go next.
All right.
My name is Teddy. I am currently this is my 1st year teaching. I just graduated in May at CCSU. I got my undergrad in physical education, and I am teaching physical education and health at Manchester High School this year.
Okay. I I teach the EDT 315 class, and we had our first meeting last night, and 13 of the 15 people in the class are all PE students at Central. So
Really? That's
yeah,
awesome.
so it's I'm not sure how they all ended up in the same class together, but all right.
That's awesome.
Well, welcome, Teddy.
Thank you.
I can go.
All right.
My name is Carly. I just graduated from Southern Connecticut State University in May. So I'm not teaching right now. I'm just a substitute teacher at Summers Public Schools, and I'm doing like this program full time. I took 2 classes in the summer, and then this is my first like semester doing the program.
All
But
right.
yeah, that's it.
Awesome. Well, welcome, Carly.
Thank you.
All right. We've got some momentum here. Who's up next?
I can go next.
All right, thank you.
So my name's Tiana LaMontagne. I'm a first-year teacher at East Catholic High School in Manchester. I just graduated from Eastern in the spring, and I'm going to be teaching freshman history as well as coaching the volleyball team. And this is my first semester at Central for grad school.
All right. Well, welcome, Tiana.
You can go next.
All right.
Hi, my name's Alana. I just graduated from Roger Williams University in Rhode Island. I'm not currently teaching. I'm doing a building sub position at my elementary school, and this is my first semester.
All right. Well, we've got a lot of new teachers here, so good to have you. It's being my 24th year. I'm kind of getting towards the other end of the spectrum, but it's always great to see new teachers. So, all right, let's see. We've got to be at least halfway here. So, who haven't we heard from yet?
Okay,
I'll go.
I can go.
Oh, who we got?
I'll go. My
Okay.
name's Lexi. I currently teach at Timothy Edwards Middle School in South Windsor. I teach art, so I get to see 6th, 7th, and 8th graders, which is a really fun kind of day for me. I got my bachelor's degree here at Central. It was actually in graphic design, and then I did the post-bac program also at Central, so I could get certified to teach art. And this is my second semester in this program. I just did the 2 classes in the summer, and now I'm here.
Okay. All right. Welcome, Lexi. All right. And there was someone else who had jumped in there at the same time who.
Yeah, me.
All right, go for it.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Chloe. I just graduated from Eastern Connecticut University. My major was secondary education. The focus is English, and this is my first semester.
All right. Well, welcome. We're glad to have you aboard. All right. Getting down to it here. Who's left?
So I can go. I'm Steve Marinelli. I am a first-year teacher at Windsor High School. I'm teaching social studies, 3 preps, and I actually just graduated from CCSU with a master's in teacher education, and just wanted a second master's. So it's my first semester with this master's program.
Okay.
So there we go.
All right. So you're a glutton for punishment, is what you're saying. Yeah,
Yep.
I'm the same. It was not required, but I kind of put myself through a postmaster's program, which was essentially doing a second master's degree. And a lot of people are like, why? Like, I just felt like it. I don't know. It's so, all right. Well, great to have you. All right. What do we got here?
I could go next.
All right. Thank you.
I'm Tate McDonald. I'm a second-year teacher at Vance Elementary in New Britain. I went down to South Carolina where I got my undergrad at College of Charleston in elementary education, and then came back up to Connecticut to teach in New Britain. This is also my first semester in this program this fall.
All right. Well, welcome to the program, Tate. Okay. Few more left here. Who haven't we heard from?
I can go.
All right.
Hi, I'm Stephanie. I just graduated from Central in May with elementary education, and I just started a building sub position in Bristol this year, and it's my first semester in this program.
Okay. Which school in Bristol?
Hubble.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're basically right next door. Region 10 is just to the north of Bristol, so
Oh, okay.
we've got fair amount of connection between the two districts. So, all right, welcome. Next.
I can go.
All right, thank you.
I'm Megan. This is going to be my second year teaching fourth grade at Smalley Elementary in New Britain. It's actually like 2 minutes away from Central, so that's kind of nice.
That's convenient.
Yes. So I did take one summer course, but this is like my first full semester. So.
All right. Well, welcome, Megan. All right. I think we have 3 left. Who's gonna? All right.
I actually just graduated from Central with my bachelor's in elementary education. I did 2 summer courses for this program. I'm doing it full time, so I'm actually subbing through Kelly Services. So I do Britain Public Schools and also Enfield Public Schools.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Great to have you. All right. I think according to my list, we've got 3 left here.
I can go.
All right, go for it.
I don't see myself. I don't know why.
But that's all right. We can hear you just fine. So.
Alrighty. I don't really know what we're answering, but I'm gonna go by what I think we're doing.
Just basic introduction, who you are, where you're working, where you are in the program, you know.
Alrighty, so this is my 3rd semester. I started in the spring. I took summer courses and now this is my 3rd. I am a Spanish high school teacher in Naugatuck High School, and it's my 5th year. So I think I got it all.
All right. Good to have you back. All right. 2 to go. We need to have a cage match. Who wants to jump in here?
I can go.
All right.
My name's Mike. I'm sorry, I'm in webcam issues right now.
That's all right. We're hearing you all right.
Perfect. So I graduated with my bachelor's in 2018 at the University of Hartford in psychology, and I currently right now work for the Department of Children and Families for the state of Connecticut. And yeah, I'm just here. This is my first full semester of doing this in a master's. So.
All right. Well, great to have you with us. All right, and by my count, we still have 1 more. I'm not sure, who have we not heard from yet? Ah, yes, go ahead. Oh, I think you're muted still. There we go.
Yes, I'm sorry about that.
That's okay.
My name is Jesus Velasquez. That's a traditional Spanish name, so my family calls me Jesse, or you can call me Jesse. I work with young men who have kind of lost their way in life and in agency. So I facilitate life skills with them, kind of show them back on track, along with some other teachers. I graduated from CCSU as with a psychological science degree, and that kind of helps me with what I do, trying to train these young men in a new way of life. And that's what I do right now.
All right. Well, welcome to the program. All right, so we've got a full house here. I guess we have all 18 here now, which is great. So thank you all for making it here, and hopefully you will find this semester useful, that you will get meaningful things out of it. For those of you who have not had me, I am a strong believer in trying to make any coursework that you're having to do as a student as meaningful and as practical as possible in terms of applying it to what you are actually doing. It's always been a pet peeve of mine to go into a course and be asked to do a whole bunch of work that then I can't use anywhere. So I try to keep things very practical, very aligned with what you are doing. We have obviously teachers here. We have people who are not teaching. We have people who are just beginning. and people who've been teaching for a while. So all along the way with any of our projects, with anything like that, if you have an idea or have a way to align that with something that you are actually doing in your line of work or in your daily lives, please don't hesitate to let me know, to reach out, because if something you do in this class can then literally be taken and used somewhere, quote unquote, for real, then that's awesome. So I love making things as practical as possible. So let me now kind of jump into, and I apologize in advance for the amount of talking that I'm probably going to do over the next chunk of time, just to get over a bunch of things. I am, by the way, and I do record every class that we have. So if you miss anything tonight, if you're somebody who doesn't like to be writing notes while you're listening at the same time, there will be a video of everything from tonight that I will post up on the Blackboard page. So if I go too fast or you need to go back and double check on something, don't hesitate to look up that video, which will be posted. So here we go. I'm going to switch over here and share share this screen with y'all. Yes, I said y'all. I grew up in central Pennsylvania, and we say things like y'all and yuns and youngins and things like that. So forgive me. So I'm just going to run through some things on the syllabus. I'm not going to read the syllabus to you. We don't need to do that. Most of it, I think, is pretty self-explanatory. But obviously, there's a few things that I would like to touch on, sort of the big ideas for the course. In terms of, I like to put this as the very first thing in terms of contacting me. I don't have regular office hours on campus, but I promise to make myself as available as humanly possible for any questions or concerns that you may have. So email is generally probably the quickest way to get in touch with me. It's linked to all of my devices at all of my places of work, so I will generally see emails pretty quickly. I do use the Remind, which most of you, again, you've signed up for already, and that's great. That's another way if you want to get in touch with me. You can always send me a Remind message, which will show up as a text on my end. I can come on campus if you want to set up a face-to-face meeting at some time to talk about something. I'm not that far from campus, and generally my evenings are relatively flexible. So I'm willing to do that as well. Or we also have WebEx, and if there's a time that you feel like you want to set up a time to meet with me. So don't hesitate to reach out to me at any time about anything related to the class. I'm here. I'm available. It's my job to help you through this course, and so I'm here to do that. So don't hesitate to reach out at any time. I do my best. My rule for myself that I really try to follow: if I get an email from you, I try to have a response back to you by the end of the following day. So if you were to email me right now with a question, I would try to have a response back to you at the latest by the end of tomorrow. If for some reason you don't see a reply back to me um, in that time frame, don't hesitate to resend an email or reach out again. Sometimes things fall off of an email list or they get buried. Don't worry about reaching out to me multiple times if you don't see a response right back. But I will do my absolute best to get back to everybody. I think, as you all know, because you're all here, Blackboard is going to be our main point of contact for this course. Up until up until this summer, I was using the Moodle system through Central, and they made the decision at the beginning of the summer or at the end of last spring to shut the Moodle platform down completely. So I've had to roll everything over into Blackboard. I think I've done a pretty good job of getting everything formatted for this new platform, but if you catch anything along the way that looks like a mistake, somebody already found a mistake in the syllabus today, which I just missed. Don't hesitate to point those out to me too, because I am having to do a lot of reformatting of materials, and sometimes I overlook something. Um, Briefly, this course in a nutshell, kind of in its role as in many cases sort of the initial or one of the initial classes in the program, it's all about design. It's instructional design. And while technically instructional design doesn't necessarily mean technology, it's just about designing instruction. It's sort of our philosophy in this program that design kind of lies at the foundation of everything that we do with technology in educational settings. If you don't go in with a well developed and a well organized plan, if you don't know what outcomes you're trying to achieve, if you're not sure how you're breaking up the instructional material or sequencing it or segmenting it, then trying to throw technology on top of that becomes almost a self-defeating exercise. So the focus of this semester is on that design aspect. So it's something that then can then be carried into really almost any of the other classes in this program. You're doing Photoshop and you're having to design a instructional flyer. Underneath that flyer or that handout is going to be instructional design. So you know what needs to be there, how it needs to be structured, who it's for, what it's trying to achieve, and so on. So that's our main target. You will be developing a full instructional design plan for a unit of instruction. That's kind of the main project. We will be tying technology into it. So even though this class is not about teaching you how to make videos or how to record audio or how to, make a flyer or a website, we will be looking at, once we get our plans underway, kind of how the instructional design impacts the choice of technology to use. And we will be doing some projects where you will be creating some materials through technology that will support the instructional design that you're doing. So we will be making that tie-in, but it's really the main focus is on that design piece. I think course objectives are relatively self-explanatory. I'm not going to read through those. In terms of, I guess, the grade for the course or the main projects in the course, I sort of break it down into these three main areas. We will have a series throughout the course of discussion forums and other sort of small weekly or every other weekly-ish activities. And those are going to be a way for us to talk about certain topics or explore things and so on. So there will be those types of assignments throughout the course. The production mini projects is what I was just referring to. That's where we are going to actually create some things through technology that will support your instructional design. So again, even though this class is not about teaching a particular technology, we will be engaged with it from that perspective, and there will be 3 of those mini projects. And then the main one is that instructional design document, and that's going to be the big project. Those of you, I can't remember exactly which courses those of you have had me before were in, but with big projects like this, the approach that I like to take, and it seems to work pretty well, is I'm not going to suddenly at the end of the course have you turn in this huge document that just sort of came out of nowhere. I break it down into smaller phases that we will be completing throughout the course. So by the time we get to the end and you're putting that final document together, it's more about just assembling the pieces that you've already created. And I think that takes a little of the pressure off. I've been in grad classes where you go through the course and then suddenly at the end there's a 40-page research paper that just sort of comes out of the blue. I like to kind of build to it. So as we examine each area of instructional design, we'll sort of work on that phase of your document. And then at the end, it should be mostly a matter of kind of cutting and pasting it all together into a final document. Snow, weather interruptions, not as big a deal as it used to be because we now have online tools. But if for some reason the university does shut down, even if we can meet virtually, generally we will cancel the class as well if the university has made the decision that we're closed. And you'll get notifications about that, but that's also a place where I might use Remind to just shoot out a quick message and say, hey, class isn't going to happen tonight. We're going to do the following, whatever. So keep our fingers crossed that we won't run into that too much. All right, attendance, and I guess I may as well talk about this now, which is how this class is going to meet each week. And this comes out of, I kind of first started trying this out with a course that I did over the summer, and it seemed to work pretty well in this context where we have grad students, many of whom are working during the day and have different things going on at night. Is it's kind of a hybrid, even in the world of hybrids. It's sort of a hybrid of hybrids, in that what I will be doing is I will be on WebEx most Tuesday nights at 7:20. So there will be, you can think of it as there will be a class meeting on pretty much every Tuesday night. There may be occasional Tuesdays where I'm not available, but for the most part, something will happen at 7:20 on Tuesdays. For those of you who like to engage in conversations and discussions in real time, you are more than welcome to join on Tuesday nights at 7:20. They will always be available on WebEx. I am trying to get onto campus as well. So there will be weeks, it won't be every week, but I will try to get out a schedule of certain weeks where I will actually be on campus. And if anybody wishes to join me in the lab on campus, you are more than willing to, you're more than welcome to do that. But again, it won't be required. Even if I'm on campus in the lab, I will still also be connecting through WebEx for the class. So for people who like that synchronous, they want to be there, they want to kind of go through things and be able to ask questions right away, you're more than willing to join us here on WebEx or on those weeks where I'm on campus, as you wish. However, there are people, and also one thing that's the last couple of years have taught us is that there are people who just learn better when they can really direct their own instruction, their own education. So I structure this class in a way where you do not have to, you are not required to attend those classes on Tuesdays. If you like to be more self-directed, if you have busier evenings and the time doesn't work out for you, as I said earlier, I do record every class. I do post those videos. So you will also have the option, if you can't attend a Tuesday night, to simply, follow up with the video of the class and kind of bring yourself back up to speed. And again, you can always reach out to me if you have questions and things like that. So part of what I'm dealing with is a practical issue, which is that the lab that we have on campus really only seats 14, and we have 18 in this class. So trying to do an on-campus meeting every week just would not be a whole lot of fun. But also, again, different people, I think we've all learned a lot about different ways that different people like to learn and like to access the materials and so on. So I'm trying to put everything, all of my experience with technology, into practice and allow people to engage with this class kind of in whatever mode fits best for them. So, just to summarize, it is your choice whether you join class on Tuesdays. Most Tuesdays there will be some kind of a class going on. You can join it through WebEx online, or on some weeks you will be able to come onto campus if you wish and join the class that way too. Does that make sense? I know it's kind of confusing because some people like to just be told, just be here at this time and do this, but I'm hoping with this flexibility that allows each of you to hopefully work with this class and with the materials in the way that works best with you and your schedule and your lives and everything else. So if you have any questions along those lines, just again, feel free to reach out. You don't even have to do the same thing every week. If you want to join the class one week and then the next week you can't, it's all good. The only thing I might do on the weeks that I'm coming on to campus is that I might send out a quick poll or an email or a message just to ask if anybody is interested in being on campus. Because if I get no responses back saying that anybody is going to go on campus, I don't necessarily need to, I don't need to go onto campus for myself. So so I might send out those messages on those weeks. But other than that, engage with the class as you see best works best for you. And most of the rest of this is, I think, pretty self-explanatory. The schedule for the course, this is probably mostly correct in terms of the overview. I do always caution, I do have the warning on here as well, in terms of homework due. The best thing to do is always check on Blackboard, because the schedule might change. We might have to restructure some things along the way, or push some projects back or move some projects up. So this is a good kind of initial framework to kind of give you an idea of the course. But on Blackboard every week, there will be the first page for each week at the bottom will list exactly what is due the following week. And that's always the best place to look. So, so that's that. We actually, because we're a Tuesday night, I don't believe we are impacted by any holiday or day off or anything like that. So we kind of hit the ground running, and we're just straight through all the way to December 13th as we go. So that's that. And then the remainder of this, if you are not familiar with the ISTE standards, those are the technology education standards that we have adopted in the United States. You definitely want to get familiar with them, especially if you are in the Educational Technology Master's Program, because in essence, these are our content standards. And there's a separate set of standards for students and for teachers. So you want to become familiar with both, so that you have an idea, in addition to your own content area standards, which I'm sure you've become familiar with. This is kind of a second set of standards. And a lot of districts, I know my school district started this a couple years ago. They are actually explicitly telling teachers that we need to support these standards in addition to our own content standards. So I know a number of districts are starting to take that route and sort of treating these as a second set of standards that they want you working on in your classes. So just take a look at them, get familiar with them. There is a whole website for them that dives into excruciating detail on what they are and how they work. And then the final thing, and these are also all going to be in Blackboard when we get to the actual projects, but the rubrics that I use for scoring the various projects and so on. So if you want to take a look at those, but you will also get that feedback anytime that a grade is given in Blackboard. You will see the rubric and all of that. So that's the end of the syllabus. All right, so that's piece number one in terms of the syllabus. Any questions at this point? Any concerns, comments, criticisms? Good to go. All right. Those of you I can see, I see nodding heads, so I'm going to take that as a we're good to go. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything here. Yeah, I think that's good. So let me now kind of shift gears a little bit and talk about week one. On most weeks, this week is a little different because I'm mainly tonight just kind of going through everything. On most of the weeks, for those of you that do join in with the class, we will have more kind of interactive activities that we will be doing with the people that are there, discussions, breakouts, readings we might be discussing, things like that. But for this first week, basically all of this work is just stuff for you to work on over the course of the next week. So I'm not going to teach any of this tonight. I think it's all relatively self-explanatory. So it's more, I just want to kind of overview what it's about. So first up is there's just a chapter to read that sets the stage for instructional design. There are tons of texts out there and methods and models and approaches and philosophies of instructional design. This particular chapter I kind of like because it takes those two words, instruction and design, and really kind of pulls them apart and makes sure that we have a good understanding of what those two words mean in this particular context. So that'll kind of help us set the stage for the work going forward. So really this week, it's just about reading the chapter. Next week, again, those of you who are with us in the class next week, we will be doing a discussion about the reading and kind of talking about some of the key concepts in it. But there's nothing you need to, write up a report on or anything like that. Just kind of do the reading. And then the main focus this week, again, sort of setting the stage for our work through the course, is to get a bit of a grasp on the whole idea of instructional design frameworks or models or approaches. There are a ton of them out there. And I've found websites that will list a couple of dozen different instructional design approaches or instructional design models. So, kind of like anything in education, people get sort of hooked on developing a particular approach and they put it all together and they write a book about it, and now it's out there in the world as a way to approach this. I will say this course is not about teaching a model for instructional design. We are not going to be prescriptive and tell you this is the best approach to use. Here's what we're going to do step by step. Part of the reason for that is just because I don't know that there is a perfect instructional design model, especially when you look at the range of ways that it needs to be applied. There are certain models that work far better in certain types of instructional situations than others. Um, Many of you will find, or maybe have already found, different school districts may have adopted particular design models. So I don't want to take you through and teach you a model and then you go to your school and they use a completely different model. So it's more about initially here taking a look, an overview look at some of the more common of those models, and then kind of pulling them apart and trying to figure out what are the common elements that we tend to see across these different design models. And that will be the information that we use going forward. So rather than teaching a specific model, if like, it's probably no big surprise, but one piece that tends to show up in a lot of these design models has to do with assessment. So we will look at assessment as a piece of instructional design, but not because it's part of one particular approach, but because it tends to be broadly across many of them. So the work in terms of those instructional design models is going to be in two phases for this week. The first one is going to be looking at some of those different models and just trying to get a bit of a handle um, on what they're about from a overview perspective, not getting into the nitty gritty of them, but just kind of looking at them and seeing what each of them has to say. So out of those dozens of different models, sort of based on the number of people we have in the class, um, I've selected 9. Oh, there's a mistake. It says 10. I got rid of one because we lost a student in the class. So I've got 9 here that represent some of these models. Some of them are more familiar. Backward design might be one that some of you have run across in your schools. That's a kind of a popular one. Addy is definitely one that shows up a lot of different places. Oh, Rachel, why do I have your name there? That's interesting. Oh, I know why that is. Okay, I know what that's from. Don't worry, Rachel. That's that's left over from something else. In any case, so the way I would like to do this is with 9 models and 18 of you in the course, is to have sort of pair up and have 2 people take a look at one of these models. And you're going to be looking to do just a brief write-up, an overview, a paragraph or 2, not every little in and out of that particular thing, but just kind of a big picture summary of what each of these approaches is about. So kind of, what are the big ideas? if you come across a website or a resource that you can link to that has more information about it, you can add that into the write-up. So kind of whatever you find that you think would be useful. So what we're going to be doing here is basically building a reference site for each of these models. And then as a class, we can use the information that everybody looks up to kind of look through and get an idea of what all these different models are. So the activity here in Blackboard is set up as a wiki. A wiki just means it's basically a web page where you, the users, can actually add content to the web page. So it's a way for within this class and in Blackboard for you to help build content that then everybody in the class can see. So the mechanics of it are, once we know who's doing what model, you'll work on looking up the information, developing the write-up on it. And then each of the models has a subpage that's already been set up. And on that subpage is where you will then cut and paste your write-up and your links and so on. To edit the page, you simply click this button up here that says Edit Wiki Content. And once you've done that, it'll just open up in a standard kind of text editor. You can copy and paste and edit and delete and do whatever you need to do to put your information there. What I have here that's already on the page is just your instructions. You don't have to leave them there. Once you know what it is you're writing up, you can replace all this with your actual write-up. Do leave the title at the top, just so we know which model it is, and leave this link at the bottom, which links everybody back to the main page in the wiki. But this area in here, once you have your write-up, you can just replace this text with your write-up. You can add links. There is a tool in the toolbar that looks like two chain links. If you want to put in a link to a website or something like that, you can type your text in and then hit that and then put in what the web address is. So you can add links there. And then you hit submit, and please make sure you do that. One thing about Blackboard that I've learned is that it's not very good about warning you if you're going to leave a page that you've made changes to. And that's happened to me a lot already, where I've edited a page and then moved off the page and then I lose everything that I edited. So just hit the submit button when you're done, and then anything that you added to the page will now be a part of that page. And anybody then can come to the site and click on any of the links and see what the write-ups are. So I left off, and Rachel, this is why your name is there. I had originally tried to assign everybody, and then we had people joining the class and leaving the class, and I was adding models and removing models. So I decided...
No, that's not even your fault. That's my fault. I thought I was getting ahead of myself.
Oh.
Signed up.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, I thought it was me, because I did have
No,
people's names, and then I decided to go back and remove everybody's names because I figured we'd just take care of it in class.
No, I moved too fast, and I'm sorry. I should have waited.
It's all good. No problem at all.
I'm sorry. I didn't know if we were supposed to sign up and you had names in the parentheses. I didn't realize those were the researchers.
Yeah, the names in the parentheses are generally the people who
Yeah.
are known for creating that particular model. So it's all good. We're all good.
Yeah,
So I guess
sorry.
part of the reason that I stepped back from making the assignments is with 18 people in the class, what I've done in the past with this class is everybody got one model, like one person per model, but the classes had 10 or 11 people in them, so it was relatively easy to do. I didn't want to put 18 different models here to be looked up, because then that means everybody would have to then look up and read the write-ups on all 18 models. So I did decide to go into pairs, but I do also acknowledge that particularly in a mostly online environment like this, it can be a little tricky to do collaborative work. So part of the reason I left names off is just there may be some of you here in the class that already have connections to each other, maybe not, but maybe you've been in classes before, maybe you've worked with somebody, maybe you know that there's somebody that lives near you or works near you, or you have an easy way of getting sort of connecting. But if that's not the case, then that's fine too, and I can just kind of assign things randomly. But I did just want to give an opportunity if there were pairs of people in the class that wanted to volunteer to work together, just to give you that opportunity to say so. If not, then what I will do is more or less just kind of randomly distribute all of you across these 9 models. And then what you can do, because both of you will all have access to editing, is in terms of connecting with each other. You can go into the page for your model, and maybe, like, if you have an email address or a phone number that you want to use to make contact with each other, you can do so, if you want to figure out a way to connect. And in terms of the write-ups too, it's really up to you how you want to deal with the write-up. I know it's a little weird coming up with just a paragraph or two when 2 of you are writing together, but whatever you want to do, if you both want to research some basic notes and then have a discussion about how you want to write it up and so on. So I do acknowledge that collaborative in an online environment can be a little tricky, but I think we can make it work. So I guess the question is there anybody in the class that would like to speak up and volunteer to work with somebody else specific in the class? Or if it doesn't matter, then I'll just go through now and just kind of distribute names across the 9 models.
Yes, I would like to work, if possible, since she's a Spanish teacher, with Destiny.
Okay. Sure.
It's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Then I'll just do this. I'll just I'll put the 2 of you right on this first one here. And you said to go by Jesse, is that correct?
Yes, Jesse.
SSIE?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Anyone else? I mean, you don't have to. I'm not trying to pressure anybody into into grouping up here, but all right. Okay, so yeah, just give me, yeah, I may as well do this right now just so you know what it is you're going to work on. And I'm just going to do this in sort of the most unimaginative way possible, which is I'm going to go kind of alphabetical, but not strictly. How do I want to do this? Actually, I'll kind of work from the 2 ends to the middle. So we'll put, and now we have 2 Michaels in the class. I guess I know Mike, I think Mike O'Keefe, you said you go by Mike. I didn't catch Michael B, if you go by Mike also.
Whatever's easiest. Whatever's easy.
Okay. I'll just distinguish with a last initial here. So that's Addie. Arcs then would be, we'll have Carly and Carrie. And
Can
then
I make a request?
Yeah.
Can you put me and Delaney together, please?
Sure.
Thank you.
I'll do that right here. So, and Delaney said, please let me know if I misspell anything. I'm trying to go off of a couple different lists here. All right, then we're up to Rachel and I guess Steven. And hopefully this all works out. And then we've got Eric and looks like Tate. And where are we now? Stephanie. And let's see, Delaney was already Tiana. Looks like Teddy. And oh, sorry, is that Y or IE?
You spelled it right.
I did? Okay.
Yeah.
And then we're up to Megan. And looks like Alana. And if I've done this right, we should be left with 2, Lexi. And, oh, what did I do? Did I miss someone? Or did I?
Me,
Who was me?
Claude.
Oh, oh no, I've got you here on Addy. I didn't miscount the number of people. 1, 2. No, I do have 18. What did I do? Obviously what did I get?
You said there's 2 mics.
I missed, sorry, that's exactly it. I just realized that. I missed the other mic. So this will be mic B. There we go. All right. I must have, my eyesight's failing. You get old. So, all right. So, so that'll be the breakdown for these. And like I said, you know, whatever you need to do in terms of figuring out a way to contact each other. I mean, I guess potentially you could even right now, if you wanted to use the chat, although that can get a little tough to look things up. But like I said, if you go into the model subpage, another way to kind of leave contact information for each other would be to just go into your page, go into edit, and then you can just add in somewhere here how you would prefer to be contacted and so on, so that you can touch base and come up with a strategy for what you would like to do. So that's part 1 of this. And again, the idea behind this is not to make some kind of case that some model is better than all the rest. It's just kind of familiarizing yourself, if you've never dealt with instructional design at this level, kind of what kind of work has been done and what the people who think about this a lot think is important, and the different ways that they've approached it. And as we get the write-ups, then you know, you can then check in on what other people have come up with for the other models and kind of compare what you learned about your model to the other models. And the bottom line then, sort of the second piece of this, if I back up here, is, whoops, that's not where I want to be, is a discussion forum. And in this forum, the topic is basically going to be sort of what did you see as you looked at these descriptions of these different instructional design models? Did you see similarities? Did you see common elements that kept popping up? Did you see things that maybe would make you think that a particular model would be better in a type of a situation than another one? You don't have to do a full analysis of all 9 models in your post. This is going to be a discussion, which is why I've set it up as a forum. And also, kind of different from the way I know forums are usually used, this is going to be a 1-thread forum. So we are all going to be contributing to the same conversation, as opposed to everybody starting their own threads and then checking in on all those different threads. So essentially, I've created the thread here with this initial post with the instructions. And then from there, everybody is going to be just creating replies. And you can either create sort of a new reply if you've got a new thought that you want to contribute, or you can also reply to replies that people have made. If somebody has said something and you want to tie into that or comment on that, then you can add your piece in that way. But I've discovered I kind of like using forums in this mode, because I think it helps keep us focused, and it sort of brings us together into one conversation, as opposed to spreading us apart into 18 different conversations. So, you know, as the wiki posts occur and you have a chance to look through things, think about what you would like to contribute or what you're seeing, and then come here, kind of look at where the discussion is going, and then add your own piece in. I do expect everybody to contribute at least once. But as the conversation builds, if you see things where you want to reply to other replies or reply multiple places, I'm totally fine with that too. With forums, I tend to go for quality over quantity. So instead of saying you have to create this many replies or you have to do whatever, I'm more interested in sort of just getting the conversation going and having everybody contribute as much as they have to contribute. So yes, the thread will get probably fairly lengthy with the number of people we have, but I think it'll help us kind of see where these trends are occurring much more easily than if we're trying to do it across 18 different conversations. So that's part two of the work for this week. Really, is that forum. Because we have these two pieces, and because we can't really create the forum discussions in a meaningful way until we have the information about the instructional designs, I am asking if at all possible, and I'm not generally one that's a real stickler for due dates, but I am asking that the model overviews in the wiki try to have those submitted, I'm saying by like Friday at midnight ish, so that then we have Saturday, Sunday, Monday to engage in the conversation piece. In other words, I don't want it to take all week for us to get the things we're supposed to be looking at, to have the conversation, and then only have a day for the conversation to really develop. So I'm trying to split the week more or less in half. So we have a first half of the week for kind of the research piece, and then we have the second half of the week to engage in the discussion piece. It's not like I am going to check at midnight on Friday. I can guarantee I will not check at midnight on Friday because I will not be awake at midnight on Friday. But as close as possible, you and your partner try to get the write up in there by the end of Friday, so that then we have the second half of the week to look at things. As I see write ups are ready, I will add the word ready down here next to the links. So if you want to come back and read up on the ones that are finished, you'll be able to quickly see which ones are ready to be looked at, and which ones we're still waiting for. So that'll keep you from having to click into each of the links and see if there's something there yet. So I will be checking in on them and adding that piece of information in. All right. So honestly, that is kind of the overview of the work for this week. I'm trying not to start off with too much stuff in our first week. We're all getting our feet on the ground. We've got lots of things getting underway this week and last week and next week. So really, in terms of boiling down what the homework is for this week. Um, if you haven't done that introduce yourself forum, just get a post put up there. If you haven't signed up for the class remind, just get signed up for that. I promise not to flood your text inbox with texts from Remind. I generally do maybe one a week, just as a kind of, here's what's happening this week, and if there's anything that needs to be said. You've got the chapter reading to set the stage for instructional design. Then you've got the first piece on the wiki page, working with your partner to explore one of those design models. And then the second piece where we participate in the discussion, analyzing the models, seeing what we can figure out in terms of like what are the big things that seem to keep coming back, that seem to be important to the world of instructional design. All right. I apologize because that was a lot of talking, but I think that is most of what I needed to go over tonight. And look at that, it's only 8:30, so we're doing good here. Questions, concerns, anything while we have all 18 of you here, anything that I can answer that I didn't cover or didn't explain well enough? I'm trying to get better at using wait time when I ask these questions. All right, well, yeah, I mean, we're off and running here. again, this will become a broken record, and I apologize for saying it over and over and over again, but reach out at any time with any questions or concerns you may have. Um, you know, as much as possible, I want you to feel as supported as if we were standing in the same classroom together every day or every week. So don't hesitate. Don't ever feel like, you know, you're bothering me with any question or concern you may have. It's my job. That's what I'm here for, is to help address all of that. And you know, like for next week, if you want to join us at 7:20 next Tuesday night, I'll be here on WebEx. I won't, next week will not be a week that I'm on campus. I know that for sure. So next week would be just like tonight. Join us at 7:20 if you wish, and we will go over the activities and the discussions for week 2 and kind of set the stage for week 2. And the week 2 in Blackboard will also be available at that point. And by the end of Wednesday or the middle of the day Wednesday, the video from Tuesday night will be available for anybody who doesn't attend the class on Tuesday night in person and wants to get caught up on anything that we went over. All right, that is that. So welcome again. I will stay here in the classroom until everybody's logged out. So if you have anything you want to ask and hang out, I will stay here. But if not, I may see you next week, or I may not see you next week, but it's all good. So enjoy the week, enjoy the rest of your evening, and I look forward to working with all of you. So thank you.
Thank you very much.